Get started.
Okay, we're back in the meeting. That's the recording started again, folks. So we're now on item 8, which is our second planning application of the day. It's full planning permission for extension of yard area and erection of fencing, walls and gates for Clan Cool Refrigeration Limited at Buchanan House, Tumulus Way, Mid-Mill Business Park, Kintua. And it's application 2025-2028. And the officer presenting again is Helen Atkinson. So over to you, Helen.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So the application site is an area of land to the western end of Tumulus Way in Kintor. Application site is shown in red on this location plan there. And this shows the usual sort of aerial view of the site. At the moment, the site is a sort of landscaping open space type area. We've got the existing Clan Cool buildings to the east, Tumulus Way running along here, the B987 running up and down, and a car garage on the opposite side of the road. So in terms of what's proposed, this is the proposed site plan, and we're looking for a change of use of the area coloured in yellow. And that would be to extend the existing yard area of Clan Cool refrigeration into this area. New boundary treatments are also proposed, so they would bound the yellow area only. And it basically is going to allow Clan Cool to operate from their existing workshop into this area here, which would bring some operational efficiencies to their business. Slide 5 just shows there are some trees on the site. Sorry, I should have said that. There are trees on the site. So the purple dots on here are showing us trees that need to be felled to accommodate the change of use. Sorry, and then we can also see some of the boundary treatments that are proposed as well. So to the north and west boundaries, there'll be a wall with railings on top. To the eastern boundary along here would be a continuation of the existing 2.4 metre high palisade fence, and we would see a gate just sort of in between the two aspects of the site, and that palisade fence continues around the back there. At the corner of the yard area, it's sort of chamfered in terms of its layout. This would be a 3 metre high block wall at that point. So that's trying to show you some of the boundary treatment. So this is the sort of block wall, and then the wall with the associated railings are on either side. Sorry, let's go back to that one. Bear with me. So turning to matters that members need to think about, as ever, they are set out at paragraph 6.1 in your report. And firstly, the report touches on the principle of the development. So as I said, the site comprises of an area of landscaping along the western area of Tumulus Way, and it's on the edge of the Mid-Mill Business Park. The site is open grassland with some tree planting, and for the purposes of this assessment, it is also considered open space. It's the view of the planning service that open space contributes to the landscaped entrance to the business park. The application site is around 920 square metres. Policy 20 of MPF4, which is about blue and green networks, and policy PR1, protecting important resources in the LDP, states that development will not normally be permitted on an area of open space unless the new use is ancillary that use as open. Aside from us thinking that it is open space, the site is actually allocated as existing business land in our LDP, so that's BUS 3 land, and therefore policy B2 in the LDP, which is employment and business land, and policy 26 out of MPF 4, which is about business and industry, are also applicable to assessing the principle of this change of use. As I said, expansion of the existing business within the new storage yard is considered to be compliant with those employment and business type policies. Would enable an existing business to continue to operate and expand as well on land allocated for that purpose. The characteristics of the site are also be open space. So we need to assess whether the loss of that open space is acceptable. So view of the planning service that the space has limited recreational value by reason of its location at the corner of two busy roads and on a business park. It's not somewhere I don't think people would sort of head to enjoy sort of time out in the outdoors. It does have some value, as I said, as a landscape setting, given it's the entrance to the business park, and it's a kind of green buffer, again, if you like, into that more industrialized space. That said, post-development, there would remain an area around the storage yard that would be subject to further planting. So the yellow area would be the hard surfaced storage yard, and these areas around it are still within the application site, but would retain trees, and there would also be some biodiversity being added as well. To conclude this section, Planning Service considers that the loss of open space would not adversely affect the overall integrity of open space network within Kintore, and that the principle can be supported under the employment policies, but we do judge it to be an appropriate departure from policy 20 of MPF 4 and policy PR1 of LDP. At the other matters, we are considering siting layout and design. There are some changes to the proposed boundary treatments on slide 6. Yep, that they are associated with the change of use of the land and obviously needed to enclose the storage yard. The proposed boundary treatments are considered to be acceptable and not dissimilar to other typical examples you would find in the wider business part. Equally, the change of use would not be out of keeping, nor would it have an adverse impact on the amenity of the area. Consideration is also given to the natural environment and policies that require biodiversity enhancements. A biodiversity landscape plan which has been submitted, which it indicates there would be further tree planting in this area here, wildflower, grassed areas, spring bulbs, and there would be log and rock piles as well as bat boxes to be installed. All of these measures would deliver a proportionate degree of biodiversity enhancements and are welcomed and would be subject to conditions to seek their implementation. Linked to this, as I said, there are 8 purple dots here on this plan, which represent individual trees that need to be felled to accommodate the extended storage area. A tree survey has been submitted, which notes the trees are relatively young and categorised as category B or C, which are the lower amenity trees. The loss of these trees is considered to have a low arboricultural impact, but it's important to note that trees outwidth the sort of hard standing area will remain, and those close to the new storage yard, so perhaps these ones in this area here, would need to be subject to tree protection and additional measures such as hand digging to ensure any root networks are not damaged. There will be 15 trees to be planted, which, as I said, they would sit in this area here and along the edges there, which seek to compensate for the loss, but also seek to deliver biodiversity net gain as well. So the loss of the trees is, of course, regrettable, but that needs to be balanced against the need for the local business to expand and to expand into what is essentially an allocated site for business and industry within the LDP. On balance, it's the view of the planning service that there is a compliance with policies that relate to trees, given that we've secured compensatory tree planting. Other matters such as drainage and car parking, it's noted that the consultees are happy with the proposal and appropriate conditions are included within the recommendations. So to conclude, as set out paragraph 6.22, the open space seems to function more as a landscape setting to the business park rather than a space for any sort of recreational enjoyment as such. The site is allocated as business and employment land, and the principle of business expansion at this site aligns firmly with those policies. The loss of trees and the level proposed is again considered to be acceptable when we consider the compensatory planting and the range of biodiversity enhancements as well that have been secured. All other technical matters have been satisfied, and conditions are required to obviously cover those out. So for the reasons outlined in the report, proposal is considered to be a suitable departure from policy PR1 of the LDP and policy 20 of MPF4, and all of the policy requirements have been satisfied to allow the planning service to recommend approval. So just looking at the photos here, so on the left of that photograph is the existing Clancool site, and in this area the grassed area is obviously subject to the application, and you can start to see the sort of size of the trees there to be removed. Similar view looking along the eastern site boundary, looking into the site, looking back the way. This is sort of more towards the corner of the site. The roundabout is here. This is on the opposite side of the site, which is a car sales. So you can see the sort of landscaping along there, which is not quite as sort of wide as what we would be looking for on this site. And then these couple of images are taken from Google. Again, you can just see the sort of nature of the site and the relationship with Clancool, and similar there. This is the application site looking from the roundabout. So that concludes my presentation, and obviously happy to take questions as and when required. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Helen. Any questions from members? Councillor Reid, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Helen, for the presentation. Just a quick one. Obviously happy with the compensatory planting. That's fine. Is there any, there doesn't appear to be, but is there any direct access from the extension onto the road network? I don't think there is.
Thank you, Councillor Reid. No, there is not. I think that was something that was changed during the duration of the application. So no, any access needs to be through the existing site.
Yeah, thanks. That wouldn't have been suitable right next to the roundabout. Thanks very much for that.
That's right. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Keating, please.
Hi, Helen. You know what I'm about to ask you, I'm sure. The blue line is the gas line. I'm assuming that is that the MP line, medium pressure line. But as it shows up a couple of the pictures, there's a little green box which is just on the boundary of the red area, which is a gas actuator, or it's a gas valve. It said it's a gas valve in the box, and before any work within 10 meters of it takes place, you should speak to the people that own the pipeline, which is a company in Reading. So I know that when we consulted with Scottish Gas Networks, they only gave us a response on the high pressure network, which is neither of these. And also, I don't know this, I absolutely have no idea, but if all you've shown us on here in blue is the medium pressure system, is there a ring main of some variety coming off, which this valve is controlling to lead into the industrial estate itself? That's just a general question of what's going on in here. But I suppose then my real point is, shouldn't we be building something in about, are we comfortable that the work that's being considered will not impact a gas valve?
Thank you, Councillor Keating. Yeah. Yes, you're entirely correct. The blue line that sorry, wrong screen.
Slide 5.
Well, I can see. Yes, it's on both. Yeah, so yes, the blue line here is a medium pressure pipeline, and bigger scale there, which is probably more helpful. It is the same, just orientated slightly differently. As advised and as in the papers, Scottish Gas Networks have been consulted on the application. They have not objected, but their consultation is related to high pressure pipeline, and they do say they've got no high pressure pipelines within the vicinity of the site. So that is our usual sort of approach to networks, to sort of buffer zones, as you like. It would be, there is a mechanism open to any developer, which is, I'm told, is called the line search before you dig process, whereby anyone can go on a portal, put their postcode in, see what sort of lies under the ground or how close that is to any potential development. That is valid for 28 days. And it obviously alerts anybody carrying out that process to any infrastructure and what they would need to do to ensure that nothing is compromised. I would suggest that if members are minded to support this application, that an informative would be the best way of dealing with that, to make the developer aware, if they're not already, of the need to liaise with the appropriate provider. I think maybe just there, Councillor Keating, you can just make out the wee box.
Google Pictures, there's a better one.
Okay, yes, I think you're, yeah, there we go, there we go. So it's there. We've got no objection from Scottish Gas Network. There is opportunities for the developer to do their own research, which you would imagine anyone doing due diligence would need to do so, but I would suggest that an informative would be the best way to deal with this, to highlight the need to contact the operator.
Okay. As I say, I'm equally slight. Well, I suppose the medium pressure line doesn't go terribly near the site, and it is hardcore only, so I don't imagine that's desperate. But as I say, what worries me is there's a gas line running off that medium pressure heading towards Clancool and other points. And as I say, the company that owns the valve is not Scottish Gas Networks. So how powerful is an informative? Because I mean, I know we'll have the usual debate about what's a planning matter and what's not. But from my background, I get really nervous when people are working around gas valves if they haven't done, as you say correctly, due diligence. So how much weight does an informative have?
Thank you, Councillor Keating. It obviously is just that. It's just telling someone, it's making someone aware of other requirements. As we always advise, the need of a developer to make sure they're complying with other legislation is not a planning matter. So that's why I'd be sort of pushing towards an informative rather than anything else, because it's covered by other legislation, so there's no need for a condition because it's covered by other matters. But it is highlighting the need for this process due diligence to the developer.
I figured that's the conversation we were about to have. Yeah, no, I take your point, and you're correct. It's not a land use matter. It's not a planning matter. It's kind of a safety matter though, and But if we put the informative in and make it very clear, we expect that to be addressed by
Yes.
the developer. And the more powerful we can make it, the more comfortable I would be.
Okay.
Like,
Noted.
do something before you start would be kind of my preferred language. But yeah, okay, thank you for answering, Helen.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Grant, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Helen. Just a quick question. Slide 5. You can see to the bottom right of the proposed yard map there. There's a dotted green line. Is that a boundary area or is that to do with height? I wasn't quite sure. You can see it extended. It's extending into the.
Oh, this. Sorry, Councillor. This bit here.
Yes. I couldn't quite make out from the.
I think it might be it's normally that would show a gradient, so a change in
Yes.
level. I suppose you've got these here,
Yeah,
which would
everything
indicate
rather straight.
yeah, I think it would be a gradient, a change in level, rather than anything too significant. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I
thinking
was looking at
contours, yeah.
the top left, and it referred to a fence which coincided with the dotted green line, and I wasn't sure.
Yes, that dotted line there indicates the proposed fence, but I would say yes, that would be a contour line. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll just all having a look at that, see what it says. Any more questions for Helen? In that case, I'll open the debate again, but again, before we go on to consider it further, can I confirm that members are satisfied that they've received all the necessary information and feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Let's
Thank you.
Ward 12 members again.
Into the universe.
No, that's in the universe. Councillor Gifford, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Helen, for the introduction of the report. And Councillor Keating's gas safety concerns aside, I think it is an appropriate departure to allow this a bit ground to be incorporated into the Clancool site. I think before they were doing any digging, they would be doing the appropriate CAT scans and whatever else to find services, whether they're on somebody's maps or not. So I think somebody somewhere will safeguard that, and if we give them a nudge to make sure that they do, that wouldn't be a bad thing. But I think it's a suitable departure, and I'd be happy to approve.
Okay, thank you. The recommendations are on page 110. If anybody's want to read those. Councillor Mason, please.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned actually where that green box actually stood in the application, but it's actually outside. As Councillor Keating says, there's a line underneath as well, which we don't know where it goes, but it was from that blue line on the map there. That's well explained. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was that's all I was worried about. It looks. I would please accept that application. Yeah, thanks. See what everybody else says. Thanks.
Councillor Longshade, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I agree with Councillor Gifford. Nothing else to add. I support this application. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other members, does anybody else wish to come in? No.
What?
Oh, Councillor Keating.
I support this. I think it's a good idea, and I'm all for expanding a local business. I'm just going to slightly disagree with the wording of Councillor Gifford, which is I would like quite a strongly worded informative nudge, if you wish. But I feel it's, even if it's not a planning matter, I think we should be making it very clear that we are concerned with that. And by the way, Trevor, the box itself says if you're working within 10 metres of this box, please tell us. So the working site is within the 10 metres, and therefore there is actually a request to contact pipeline owners.
We can include that as a delegated matter.
Yep.
Yes.
That'd be lovely. Thank you.
Just make it a delegated grant. That's okay, Helen?
Yes, that's fine. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any contrary views, so if we go with the recommendations, as written on page 110, it's a departure, and add the delegated matter for an informative for the applicant to liaise with the provider.
Strongly
A strongly worded informed.
Thank you.
and we've agreed the reason for departure.
Comfortable.
Reason for departure.
We've agreed the reason for departure. Yes,
Perfect.
okay,
Good.
thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
So
Helen.
that now, oh no, sorry, we've still got the annual scrutiny report. I've turned the page. So we'll go on, we'll just wait for Alison to be ready,
Oh, fine.
because we're going on to
I'm not
item
going to say
9.
anything. I'm going to
Oh, Sam.
let my
Item
boss do it.
9, our annual scrutiny and improvement report for 2025 to 26. And again, this is a really good report with lots of just, it's good to read. It just shows what we're actually doing at these sessions. So I'll hand over to Anne.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, committee. As Chair says, I think it is a good report, and it's also, it's explains the good work that Geary Area Committee do. So this report is a requirement of the Council's scrutiny improvement process, and it provides an opportunity for the committee to reflect on the scrutiny activity is undertaken from April 2025 to end of March 2026, as well as to consider and agree the proposed scrutiny programme for the year ahead. So the report highlights the wide range of scrutiny activity that's carried out by Geary Area Committee, both through your formal committee business and through your informal mechanisms such as seminars, briefing sessions and ward meetings. And it's a good demonstration about how Geary Area Committee have challenged, examined and influenced service delivery, policy development and partnership working across a broad range of local issues. It provides examples of where scrutiny has led to further work, additional reporting and continued monitoring of issues that are important to communities across Geary, and illustrates the value of the committee's scrutiny role in supporting accountability and continuous improvement. So members are asked today to consider the content of the report, provide any comments or suggestions for future improvement, and consider the proposed programme of scrutiny activity for 26-27 that's set out in Appendix 1. We've got also feedback from our seminars held through the year, and you may wish to take this into account when considering future arrangements. Both Alison and I are both happy to take questions, so she may have to say something. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions from members on the report? Councillor Walker, please.
Thank you. It's just a comment really on the scrutiny piece on the provision of toilets in council buildings. And we all know it, but the time it took to actually move forward. And I suppose it's still not reached the stage that the public actually knows, the outcomes really. So that would be my only comment where that would all fit in and the time taken. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Walker, and thank you for being an active part of the member officer working group around what is actually quite a significant piece of work that was started by Geary some years ago. We do have active officer group as an operational matter in terms of the clarity that was brought to the Equality Act 2010. We've now had the production of the EHRC guidance, and we are working through that, and we do have our got a regular MALD meetings, and we've got them coming up for this post recess period. So we've got there's an awful lot of activity, as you can imagine. We've got a lot of FOIs on this, and there's quite a lot out there in the public domain. It's all the Geary reports are out there in the public domain as well. So we will be looking around our reports into policy committees in due course, so it will surface. And of course, quite welcome for anyone to come have a conversation about that too.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Grant, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to add my words of thanks for the report. Very interesting. Read them, trying to recall if we've had these in previous years. Been a long time ago, but yes, certainly
Every year.
a good reminder of all the work we've done, and it's also good that it highlights the valuable work done in informal committees as well. So members of the
Giveaways
public can see what we've done. Yes, I know. It could have been the inaugural one. But thank you.
Could have been first time.
Chair, I think it is noteworthy that the feedback that the Geary Area Committee has instigated is now being picked up with some of the other areas. And they are looking to try and assess the value and worth of their informal sessions. So that was an improvement that was instigated in Geary that is now rolling out elsewhere. So good practice.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so we are.
Yeah, for Martin are claiming it as theirs.
I started from Martin brought it across.
Okay, any other comments? I just think to thank Anne and Alison for the report, the information that's in it, and if we're trailblazing, that's great.
Absolutely.
Reminds us to go back and check our CPD as well.
Oh, yes, yeah. Right before behind.
Gives you everything you need,
Mhm.
everything that you need, as long as you know whether you were there. And I can actually tell you whether you were there.
We record it.
Big sister's watching you.
It's so
Excellent. Councillor Joji, please.
Yes, very quickly. So on page 123, on the RTIP locations. So yeah, so I was just thinking if we might be able to, I might be able to answer this. Yeah, so what projects would likely be approved, really? Because it said there's going to be a limited number of new RTIP locations due to revenue implications. So do we have any information on that?
Which, maybe we could ask for an update on that one if that's helpful.
Yeah.
I don't have anything further.
Okay.
But we can ask just informally come back to the committee with an update on if there's any further information about the locations.
Okay. All right.
That's
Thank you.
That's item 1 under the environment and sustainability one on the 30th of September 2025. That one.
Yes. Yes. Page 123. Yes.
Okay. It's fine.
Appendix 2. Thank you.
I will seek further information and informally provide that to the committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That information does exist, so it should be an easy one.
Yep.
Okay, so if there are no more questions and comments, that item is the last item on the public section of our meeting today. So I can confirm that the public section of the meeting has now concluded and that the recording will be stopped. Thank you for your interest in this business. Members of the committee will now go on to consider exempt or confidential business without press and the public present. So we'll just pause